It's fun and happy to be together with you and your friends in the story. Short, real life, emotional and meaningful today. Now on YouTube channel. A rickety 4-level house located in hidden deep. The sound of rain pattering above in the small alley. The old corrugated iron roof seemed to blend into the sobbing sound. Kelly's choking girl's eyes. The 18-year-old looked red with tears glistening in his eyes. The father was sitting across from the field. In the year I turned 50. My face was completely austere. Deep wrinkles on calloused hands. Tightly grasped the almost expired cigarette. Smoke mixed with humid air. Mold creates a stuffy atmosphere. It's hard to breathe. My dad doesn't want Kelly, whispered, his voice lost in the sound. The rain falls and the field sighs, heavy as if carrying the whole burden of life. Kelly and Dad know you're disadvantaged. But Dad has no choice but to pay the debt. I don't know how to manage anymore. Threatened to. Will, his voice was choked and speechless. Kelly understood what he was talking about. Loan shark to bloody people. Cold is ready to do anything to claim. Showing the image of a group of angry people. The shameful words appeared in her mind. She uses herself to fear that Mr. Zachary is fake. To Dad. Kelly hiccuped. 2 lines. Tears rolled down Mr. Zachary's cheeks. The old man is over 60 and his wife is famous and rich. Yes, but stingy and difficult to deal with. Kelly, he was like a deep abyss. Abyss that she did not dare to jump into. You know. I know. But the farmer raised his hands tremblingly. Wipe away the tears from the corner of the eyes, but Kelly, this is the only way to save you. Dad saved his family. Mr. Zachary, promise me you'll pay off all your debts and give me yours. A happy life. Kelly hugs. Crying face. Happy life. Happiness is exchanged for youth with virtue. Your happiness. Why are you only 18 years old? There is a future ahead that still has dreams. Dreams and ambitions that have not yet been realized. Everything collapsed and went up in smoke. I still want to go to school and want to become a person. Teacher, Kelly said chokingly. The fields were silent, eyes looking far away. I'm looking somewhere. He shook his head slightly. His voice was hoarse. Kelly, dream. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices. Dad, I'm sorry. The sound of rain outside is still there, falling steadily like a plaintive cry. For the cruel fate of the young girl. Kelly put her head down on the table and cried, sobbing, and the sound of falling rain. So a sad song tore her heart apart. Knew she had no other choice. Her fate was decided to be sold by his own biological father. A tearful trade-off transaction. Her youth took survival. Family's wedding took place quickly. As quiet as Kelly's fate itself. No laughter, no blessings. Busy and bustling, with only the sound of music crashing. Sound coming from the same old speaker. The neighbor's curious eyes. Kelly is like a quiet shadow. A dazzling red owl dye and a white face. Sick, a little bit of makeup next to her is. Mr. Zachary had a different, triumphant look on his face. Probably with the melancholy and breathless look of the farmer. Kelly is truly a lucky girl. Mr. Zachary is rich and can enjoy it freely. Fuck Miss Joan, vegetable seller. Narrow THM spoke in an accent mixed with a bit of irony. It's a blessing to change youth. If you take money, you'll feel sorry for her. Young but have to marry an old man. Miss Judith Miscellaneous turned into eyes full of sympathy. Kelly, what a time these days. Can also be bought with money. Happily another voice rang out. The whispers kept going. Kelly's ears felt like sharp knives. Sharp cut into her bleeding heart. She bowed her head, tears falling silently down the red owl dye. She knew from now on she would have to live in the scorn and ridicule of people. Will wear the label of money-hungry religion. Cling to her for life until she gets to a spacious house. Gorgeous page by Mr. Zachary Kelly. I feel like I'm lost in a world. Strange. Everything is luxurious and expensive. But still, cold and lonely. Mr. Zachary warmly led. She toured every corner of the apartment. The house voice is full of pride, but Anne. Kelly didn't feel any warmth. I just see a desolate emptiness. Ruined to the extreme. The evening Mr. Zachary entered the bedroom holding a glass of milk. Drink it when it's hot and let me take care of it for you. From now on, he said in a gentle voice. Kelly looked at him with eyes filled with fear. Scared and pleading. Her relatives stammered no. Speechless, Mr. Zachary put down the milk cup. The table approaches her. Don't be afraid. Your father won't. What can I do? I just want to get pregnant. Old friend. Kelly trembled backwards. She leaned closer to the bed and felt it again. Disgusted by his greedy eyes. My wedding night is not for you. Happy night, but a horrible nightmare. A humiliation that she had to endure. Her choked cry echoed in the night like the desperate cry of a captive animal. She silently prayed. Pray and hope that some miracle will happen. Came to free her from the earthly life. This prison. The days and months that followed Kelly's life. In the loneliness and coldness of a luxury house. Comfort cannot fill the space. Empty in her soul. Mr. Zachary treats with her. She is quite well provided with material things. But between them there always exists a wall. Invisible at an impossible distance. Blur. Kelly always keeps her distance. With him avoiding tries actions. Touch makes Mr. Zachary difficult many times. C.H. Kelly. I see you as an outsider. Why? One evening Mr. Zachary asked, the voice mixed with sadness. Kelly bowed her head and remained silent. She was silent, not knowing how to answer. She didn't hate Mr. Zachary. But she didn't either. How can I consider him as my husband? Bah. I know I'm still young and can't accept you yet. Right away, but I will try. I will. Prove to your child that you truly love him. I love you. Mr. Zachary continued, his voice full of sincerity. Kelly remained silent. Don't believe in his loved one. He is 10 years older than his father. Only see pity and grace. One day Kelly received news from him. Seriously sick. She quickly asked his permission. Tuan came back to visit his father and just saw his daughter. He burst into tears. Are you suffering so much? The farmer's son held his daughter's hand tightly. Kelly said weakly, shaking her head and crying. Dad, don't worry about me. Dad, take care of me. Take care of your health. I'm sorry B pushed me. I entered this life of the field. Chokingly said no. Dad, don't say that. I don't blame you, Dad. Kelly hugged her father tightly with tears falling. It wasn't until the days of taking care of Kelly's father that she realized the boundless love. His birth for himself he sacrificed. Everything, including my daughter's happiness. Save the family she regrets ever having. Blaming him for thinking he sold out. But the cruel fate did not allow it. She has the opportunity to repay her father's gratitude. The next day he breathed his last. With pain in Kelly's arms. Losing Tra was like tearing Miss Gao's heart apart. Crying bitterly. Calling my father's name inside. Hope now she lost all family. Youthful dreams and beloved father. After Kelly's father's funeral. Back to Mr. Zachary's cold house she. Like a silent, soulless corpse. Showed daily tasks Mr. Zachary. Less words than the eyes that always looked at her. Unfathomable. One evening Mr. Zachary called Kelly down to the tense living room. Straight covers Kelly's room 3. I have something to tell you. Mr. Zachary said. Low voice. Kelly sat down. The chair's eyes were lifeless. She didn't look at him. I still have the strength to care about anything. What else? Mr. Zachary took a deep breath. With a trembling voice. Dad tricked me. Kelly looked at Mr. Zachary with full eyes. Suspicion of deceit and deception. Number 3. Used to pay off the debt of my 3 children. It's not my property. Mr. Zachary's father said in a choked voice. Kelly remained silent, waiting for him to speak. Next 3 have sold the child, Mr. Zachary said each. Death was like cutting into the heart and liver. Mr. Ba accepted it. A Chinese man's money too. Take your child over there to be Kelly's wife. She was stunned and couldn't believe her ears. Take her to China to be his wife. How can Mr. Zachary continue to narrate? Full of pity. He was a broker. A legal marriage, specializing in bringing young Vietnamese girls. When he went to China, he set a trap for him. The Fields forced him to marry Kelly, then sold her to China for marriage. Kelly is just a show to cover the eyes. After hearing this, Kelly felt, my mind was spinning like I was about to faint. So cruel, so brutal to her. She was deceived and sold like a commodity. Her future lies ahead now. A dark color, a life full of strangers. Avoid the dangers that await the country. Eyes rolled down his pale face. Hers, but this time it wasn't water. Eyes of sadness but tears of joy. Indignant despair. Kelly looked at him. Tuan's eyes no longer had any hope. Only hatred and despair remain. She didn't say anything and just stood up quietly. Take heavy steps towards the door. Where are you going? Mr. Zachary asked with a trembling voice. Kelly stopped and turned to look at him. Face full of tears but eyes. It's so cold that I can't go anywhere. Related to him, she spoke in a hoarse voice. From now on we no longer have any relationship. Then she walked out of the house. Out of a life full of lies and suffering. Mr. Zachary slumped into the second chair. He covered his face with his hands and a choked sob rang out. In the empty room he was. Lose everything. Lose your salary and fight. Lost his only daughter. Kelly wanders the streets. I don't know where to go or where the world is going. Her surroundings became blurry and meaningless. The image of the biological father appears inside her mind, with a gentle smile and loving eyes. Unfortunately, she has now lost both her parents. Losing the whole family. Losing the whole future she saw. I'm like a boat lost in the ocean. The vast ocean doesn't know where to land. At nightfall, Kelly found a tree. Bridge over a familiar river stream. The black river flows like a whirlwind. Washed away all her suffering. She stood on the bridge looking down into the deep water. Feel an unusual peace perhaps. Only death can free her. From this hellish life she closed her eyes. Pictures of parents, friends, teachers, appeared, a tear rolling down on her cheek, and then she let herself fall down the black river with the sound of the wind whistling, screaming like a lament for fate. The tragic fate of the girl in the morning. Kelly's body was later found drifting to shore, her face serene, as if I had found liberation after many years. The story of the day immersed in suffering. The 18-year-old girl's life quickly spread throughout the small neighborhood, making everyone feel sad, sympathize with Mr. Zachary after his death. Kelly, he's gone crazy, mouth calling my name to live in torment. And regret for the rest of your life is a painful tragedy. The love has ended, leaving behind great pain. Calm the hearts of those who stay. Kelly's story is a tragedy. Greed, lies and devastating consequences of bad decisions. Story. Leave a message of sadness and happiness. Cannot be bought with money, and sometimes silence is more terrifying than words. Lie. And now, welcome to the main story. Today's weather is on these. The last day of the year brings the bone-chilling cold, makes people unable to dare to leave an inch of clothing and step outside. Outside in an old taxi all day long. The heater also no longer works properly. Usually the driver mumbles while driving. Frustrated, what the hell is this time? Here, the road is still made of dirt and gravel. It's hard to die knowing that I don't have any money. Nor did he bother to accept the man's contact. Continuity reduces inattention to one's attitude. The passenger sitting in the seat behind the girl leaned silently. Lean back in the chair and close your eyes to rest. Unintentional defamation by the driver. When she woke up, she initially planned to take the train home. Countryside, but at the end of the year almost everyone has a similar purpose, so why don't you compete? The ticket just placed on the floor was already flying. The passenger bus lines also stopped. Having been active since early on, she had no choice but to bite. Spend money to rent a cheap taxi. But the cost is not very satisfactory. The man above whined loudly. She raised her head and took a bottle of water to drink. I took a sip and caught the girl's eyes. The rearview mirror was looking at him. He frantically adjusted his glasses and felt guilty. Think about what I said just now. We drove in silence, thinking it was quiet. Still, the girl leaned her head back on the recliner. Take a break, although I say rest, but. In fact, numbers and numbers were in her head. The milestones are constantly running amok. She are calculating what to do next. Next enough to cover living expenses. Hunger and poverty cling forever. That person is tired and bored with the car. Used to run forever on gravel after nearly 6. It took an hour to get to where the driver stopped. Stopped in front of a cafe and turned around to the back. Opened the trunk and take out the suitcase and 3 or 4 big bags. She put it on the ground and waited for someone in the car. Stepping out, he lit a cigarette and smoked one. Slightly satisfied, he looked at the guest and said, "Can you give me 1 million? When I first asked, you said 1 million too." The girl asked in surprise. Because there is a lot of money, so before boarding the bus. Hey, she had to ask the price before daring. Because it's a self-driving car. So no, it's not convenient to have contract documents. Yen only when receiving certainty from talent. She didn't dare to sit on the driver's seat when she expected to come here. This person turned around again. I said back, if you see a driver who hasn't left yet, scream. The price is not yet. How do I know exactly? Where are you going and what is the price, uncle? Hurry up and pay the price so I can go home. The man spoke and waved his hands. There was only a little left of the cigarette, so he threw it away. It landed on the ground. Use the toe of your shoe to lightly step on it. Several times the girl still panicked. I can't bear to spend such an excessive amount of money. Negotiating tone, you can tone it down a bit. No, I don't have much money in the countryside. Like this, you think I do this job? Very rich or something, but you after all. Did you pay? Do you know me? Country road. How many pebbles have you left? The car I was driving on, is there any problem do you have? Floating temple. No, he pointed his finger in a harsh voice. The girl in front scolded everyone loudly. Everyone in the restaurant heard it and immediately left. One of them turned on the camera again. Seeing that the situation was not good. Old driver immediately. Adjust your attitude and clear your throat. Miss Cha. Don't let me call the police. Shame on you, girl. I know I was tricked by this person. Silence, open your bag and take money to pay when passing. The other person just relaxed his eyebrows and twitched. Took the money and drove away in gear. There was a group of people standing around waiting for someone. The woman recognized her and immediately ran over. Ask, Han Andrea, hey kid. Going back to my hometown for Tet. Yes, the company will let me. I'm on vacation, so I'm going home. Oh, I brought you many things. Come back a lot this year, your family will have money. Eat disgusting things. Yes, it's normal. Please allow me. Previous Andrea intentionally ignored the face. The woman's curious and prying gaze. Carry some heavy bags back home. The place she lives is on a small piece of land nearby. Village Hall. It is an old house, covered with moss in the dust of time. On days of heavy rain or storms, the house often leaks water and even flips over. There are also some bricks and mortar about this matter. Many times she sent money to her parents to see house repair to prevent natural disasters or something. But her father was lazy, so he took it all the way. She had to have money to drink a few times like that. Give up and advise you to pack a bunch of stuff and leave. Outside in the yard, Andrea heard shouting. The sound of clinking glasses from my house made her bored. Frustrated, he dragged his suitcase on the ground and walked slowly into the man with the hunchback. Found him patting the shoulder of the person next to him. I'm here. My daughter is back. Hello, Dad. Hello, guys. Andrea bowing in greeting. The people gathered at my house looked. Piles of dishes and dishes scattered about. Ms. helplessly sighing and returning home. Mom, you must go. The scale of junk hasn't arrived yet. So dad and uncles, just go into the room first. Oh, go ahead. The house only has a few small rooms at the front. There in this room are all 4 sisters. Sleep and later grow up. Andrea go to college, study and then work there occasionally. Only after a few days off did the second child return. Didn't finish high school and got married, even hundreds of miles away from home. The numbers should turn out to be the 3rd son and the youngest son. Occupy this room as your own. It's not convenient to be here. Andrea cleans up one. After a while, I decided to spread the mattress outside in the evening. Sleeping on the steps of the house, struggling to pack things, measuring notifications from chimpanzee phones. After an hour, she had to stop and look over. When I look, I only see one line of messages. You're back. I miss you so much. The person on the other side of the screen didn't know that. The girl immediately saw the message. No emotion, cold face, knock knock. A few. Text and send it. Andreas realize it. No matter how hard you try. No matter how hard you try. You can't love my boyfriend. That day she graduated. Having difficulty finding a job. How much do you pay in the prosperous place of Lyon? The application received no response at all. Most desperate, the other guy came and helped. So when asked, Andreas did. Without hesitation she agreed. She thought that love, the feeling may slowly build up, but it will get better. A year has passed and the feeling of excitement is still there. Without looking for her, she knew herself and the other person. Really, no, fate still always find a way to make it clear, because I don't want him to quit. If you're too happy, you'll be too absorbed in your thoughts. In the yard, a woman holds a basket of leaves. The 2 boys followed behind the one riding a bicycle. The boy carrying a big basket walked and pulled it. Walked in and saw a young girl standing there. The little boy shouted and quickly pushed the bike to jog. Again, my sister is back. When is she coming? This kid is too excited. Without thinking, immediately threw the bike aside. Andrea Ben reluctantly tapped on its head. One knows it's wrong, so it just rubs it. The face where he was knocked on the head was still smiling brightly. The woman's tongue entered and saw that too. Too lazy to take care of this troublesome son. Mrs. Need to ask about your return? Where is your father? I haven't seen you home for a while now. Mom still has dad. Maybe he was sleeping just now. That guy just came back and he drinks every day. Okay, you rest, do whatever takes long. After a while, she spoke and shook her head to show off. Bored of school, he went straight to the kitchen to blow. The fire for cooking rice was only small for the older man, followed by the second one. After my sister's voice, I ran after my mother. Kitchen helper Andrea looking at her younger brother's depression. I'm sorry it grew up too fast and I miss you. Then she went to Lyon. Studying. The boy still had water. My eyes and nose are watery and I can't stand it. I'm in 11th grade now. But I'm joking again. When it passed by, it was taller than her head. It's also because she hasn't been home for a long time that she's new. I felt strange looking at my older brother for a long time. I didn't notice that the younger guy was also thinking about something. It nudged its wing. His sister's hand then whispered to the expert men. Very much. Don't look at him. He sees you as shy. Like that, but he is the best flirt. This devil always listened to his brother say that. Andrea couldn't help but laugh as she looked at him. You sound like an old man telling all this story. As for other things, I don't know how to get bored. For example, the story of Mrs. Nam next door falling from her car and into the bush. Mr. Tan's Luffa, or the old butcher. The dog chased straight into the light pole until he saw his brother coming out of the kitchen. Immediately crawled behind her to hide from Kwan. You said bad things about your brother to me, right? Heaven and earth testify that I don't have it. So why are you hiding? Then could not find any words to reply. I know I'm weak, but I have you to do my job. Lean on it and shout loudly. I say yes. That's wrong. At Christmas, there was a sister. Wore an old short dress to my house. I asked him out on a date but he didn't go anywhere. Sometimes I see you like some crazy guy. Hey, this guy. Look at those two big brothers. Andrea couldn't help but laugh. She hugged him. My stomach writhed on the chair despite the two talking. It went back and forth but after a while the feeling came. His hand clutched the corner of his shirt on his back. Then jerked up several times. She knew her younger brother. The child was signaling for help and pretended to be. Clear your throat and stand up to make peace. Okay. Then you two keep arguing, then I won't. Take me to see the results. What the heck? My sister is so awesome. Number 1. The little guy immediately ran out to flatter him. Showed 2 thumbs up and looked very green. The gesture turned towards her sister and shook her. Praise. Andrea waved and hid both of them. Going into the bedroom, she took the suitcase from under the bed. Enter the password into the lock and pull. Lightweight inside the suitcase is a small bag. Before her 2 younger siblings' eyes opened their beaks. Bag took out a red watch. The shadow gently directed Quan to the child. Here, yes. The bad boy just now still has how. Excited, but when he saw the gift he was shy. Sheepishly scratched his head and pointed a finger at himself. Might want to make sure again, but under her sister's waving hand, it still approached. For you, this is for you, yes, but second. It's so expensive. If I mess up, I have to do it. Sao Quan stands silently with both hands holding it. The hem of the shirt is close together and the boy still has it. Looking at my sister with eyes that did not dare to accept. In his entire life he has never received a gift. Precious as Andrea also lives in. Because of poverty. I understand your psychology very well. Her son. She pulled his hand back. Put on the watch and quietly confess if it's broken. Then send it to Leon by post office. You can fix it and then send it back. No need to worry, of course. Right at the right place. The boy immediately cheered after hearing it. Started up again, looked at her and nodded. Ran out with the bronze. New tank in the room. Only the older and younger ones. This little brother has always been running after him since he was little. After her, she was like a big little tail. Then her face, always very stiff at times. I don't know what he's thinking. Andreas Ben called. It's close but different from my younger brother. This boy came to take the wooden chair again. Sitting down next to her, he spoke frankly. No need for a watch. The old one still works fine. Many people said that I was going to give you a watch. No, it's not. She looked at her younger brother. My oldest son doesn't know when. But this kid has become so tall. Face is also very bright. Oot said girls love him a lot. She thought as she reached into her pocket to get it. Take out a small box and give it to the person next to you. This side is what men can see. The object immediately jumped back. Startled. Touch. Look at the box in my sister's hand. Looked up at the other person's face in shock. This makes it impossible to stay calm. Wave your hands around and answer me this. Sister. I won't take it. I hate the things you gave me. Huh, no, it's not just that it's too expensive. So it's not expensive. You keep this phone. Come on, Andreas, know this guy's personality. Without saying much, he reached out and rubbed its tangled hair, then leisurely placed it. The phone in the hand holding. Tighten it. Next year, I'll be in 12th grade and then study. At this time, there needs to be someone to carry me. Just take it. I know you're in Lyon. It's not easy to look straight at you and look shy. Not daring to admit it. She immediately comforted it. When he finally agreed to take it. The gift was given, but there is still a little left. Hesitated. Andrea had to sternly warn her. If it is not returned, it will hum. Nodding in the evening after eating and drinking ash. After talking, Andrea ran into the room and hugged her. Pillows and mattresses came out and flowed down the middle of mother's bed. And dad told her to go to her room, but she refused. Refused until around midnight and saw more. 2 sets of blankets and pillows were placed next to me. It turned out that the 2 younger brothers were afraid that their older sister was sleeping. Out here I was bitten by an insect, so I ran away. Went to sleep next to Andrea. Happily laughed and teased them. Children then fall asleep until morning. Ted in the countryside passed peacefully. Many bustling activities like in the city. So it's almost Cheryl's day. Must return to my work today. At that time, I was preparing my luggage for the afternoon catch. Car to Lyon. She was surprised to hear it. A propaganda clip was broadcast over loudspeakers. If you want to change, come to us. Because her hometown has always been poor. No one has time to participate in things like that. This is because everyone is afraid of being scammed and losing their money. Andrea turned to ask his younger brother when he left. I have the dharma to become like that. I heard it a few months ago. Rumor has it that some old merchant is going to declare, transmit help to make people rich. But it sounds like a scam, so not many people do it. I believe she also kept quiet and didn't think much because inherently familiar with many battles. Business strategy of the old fathers. City, but thinking about it still feels weird. This area is so poor. Why choose propaganda here? But in the end she chose to ignore them. Andrea's nonsense thoughts get on the train and go back. Again, city life is too busy. It was so busy that I didn't realize it had been 3 months past since that homecoming. Thinking the work has not made any progress at all. She was also oppressed and exploited by her superiors. The girl was bored and sat on the front bench. A restaurant sighed and looked at the clock above. It's almost time for her to swipe the phone. He left his long black hair and patted his face. Cloth to stay awake by today. She decided to say goodbye to boyfriend that I don't have feelings for. Lovingly relaxing with the wind and clouds in mind. About the meeting that happened a few days ago. Away from the man with the elegant appearance. Youthful coming down from the black Lexus car. He turned his eyes towards his girlfriend. Smiled gently and walked over to hug her. What is so tight between the plans of many people? The girl shyly pushed him onto the bed. I hurriedly lowered my voice and went into the shop. The guy rubbed his girlfriend's head and grabbed her. Her hand that walked in around there was some left. The depressed person commented that the girl was lucky. Luckily, they ordered food and chatted together. Each other happily like good friends. No one knows what surprises lie ahead. Waiting for dinner to pass smoothly. Until I got in the car with that guy. Back to Andrea, still can't open the dog's mouth. Her problem, she was afraid she would do. He was hurt and partly because of it. Someone told her her boyfriend's name was dangerous person, but she thinks, well, there is nothing wrong. There is only the real self. If you hesitate too long, you will lose your love. Not a good way. Wait for boyfriend. Drove okay and atmosphere just. The other two slowly confided to me. We don't get along very well. What do you mean truly? I came to you because I felt you were very well. I want to try loving you, but more than one. Last year I didn't feel moved. I'm so sorry, Andrea said while bowing her head. So low she didn't dare face the light. That person's eyes were scared because he felt shaky. Continue to accept this relationship at. While I was confused, my boyfriend came up again. A cold voice asked if you had thought about it carefully. Seeing that the girl did not have a moment of except for the man who nodded repeatedly. I was silent for a minute without saying anything. 2 minutes passed and suddenly he was like. He got mad and laughed loudly. Immediately turn around even while running. On a one-way street. Luckily, there's little traffic there, so there isn't one. Any incident occurs but acts unexpectedly. His penis made Andrea panic and she grabbed him. Took his shoulder and asked him what he was doing. This is not the way home. The young man did not bother to answer. Continued to accelerate and rush towards. Before the person sitting next to him frantically told him to stop at the end. I can't stand lies words anymore. Again, he was annoyed and let out a roar. Mom, will you shut up? This guy is bored. So dramatic. Then the expensive car drove on forever. Highway until completely. I can no longer see the city lights. Andrea don't understand this person's purpose. But she knew he wasn't the same. Like his harmless and sturdy appearance. Surely she is in danger from the situation. The madness of the person holding her steering wheel. Saw a twisted smile on his face. Always gentle as his water. This guy has been wary of her since he got in the car. I pretend to play generosity and hold the bag for you. Books including wallet and electricity. So now, although I'm very scared, can't do anything but sit still because of if. Conflicts in the car can be both. Will die because of the speed that man. The other guy was driving and it had reached an alarming level. After about 20 minutes of final acceleration, the car also stopped in front of an area. Villa on the outskirts of Lyon looks. The dark and classic atmosphere sets it apart. The mansion became somewhat strange. Immediately walked down and lit a cigarette. There was no wildness in his eyes. Dropped at this sight. Andrea was implicitly judging this person is not simple. Is addicted to drugs that he inhales. It's also not normal to smoke. Half of the cigarette was burned and he turned around. Passenger seat door and lift your foot and kick it hard. Sound and then shouted, "Are you coming down?" This, with a warning look. Andreas hesitated. She suddenly remembered her meeting with that person. A few days ago her heart trembled. Trembling and pounding, his palms were already sweating. He kept clutching the item inside. The other guy's pocket saw her walking out and immediately rushed. Yellow grabbed her long hair and pulled. Went straight into the house despite the pain. The girl struggled continuously. He continued, not paying any attention when the door of the villa had just opened and had a terrible fishy smell. Disgust rushed straight into Andreas' nose. Unable to bear it, he collapsed and vomited the whole can. The house is large and dark. It is as black as ink. There is no such thing. Take a silhouette of a man. Get a taste of your territory right away. Immediately let go of her hair and covered her face with a crazy smile. He greedily took a deep breath, as if wanting to enjoy the fishy atmosphere. Mix with air until satisfied. I just looked at the girl sitting on the ground, but hesitated for a moment. Andreas knew he had encountered a sick guy who even said it was. The murderer also did not mistake her face. Again, not a drop of blood remained. Not being able to stand made her scared. I turned to the other person and begged him to take me home. Okay, I'm wrong. Don't make me afraid of him. I ignored the plea and went straight in. The kitchen took out a long-handled sharp knife. Dropped it right next to the girl. It made a deafening noise. His knees buckled and he squeezed his chin hard. The other man gritted his teeth and replied, "Do you know how much I have endured because of you? Why not, Mom? She's a country girl. Also set up a price with me." "Oh, I'm wrong." Andrea, kneel down and clasp your hands. Apologize again to her red lips that she bitten. T's hair is even white and messy. And clearly see how to face sudden death. The crash made her panic and she just wanted to give up. I went down and begged that crazy person to spare my life. But as soon as chaos respiration is gone, kept calm and was immediately attacked by the man. Pulled hard and dragged him to an empty room. There's light in there on the bed. Patient prescriptions are often found in diseased areas. Hospital. A thin, pale woman, lying there gasping for breath as if wanting to extend the blessing of life across the waist. Still covered by a piece of cloth. Dark with blood. Some places still have a rotten smell. Emitting from this room makes people angry. Not being able to breathe is not just a fishy smell of blood that is even a stench in the middle. Mixed with Cheryl's feces and urine. I couldn't stand this horrible scene. The girl turned around and ran away. She wanted to escape that disgusting place, but that guy caught her hair and snatched it away. Suddenly caused her to fall down. I had time to react and was dragged by him. Come back, then point straight to the room and the anvil. I'm afraid you have two options. One is to sign. Selling organs to make money is the same. That girl was forced to dry. You're crazy to death. Then, shouting loudly, she struggled at the same time. Is he holding you back? Mouth biting deeply into the other person's shoulder. It caused him so much pain that he unconsciously let go. Andrea ran as fast as she could to the door. But she couldn't. The force is still not as strong as the other person he was poked. He was so angry that his face turned red and he grabbed her and slapped her straight into Andrea's face. She was stunned. She felt dizzy on the floor at this moment. I no longer had the strength to struggle and could only sob. Please forgive me in my heart. Dreamy and painful, she saw that the other guy had been injected into her something that could be gold, can also be a deadly pathogen. But now I still have the strength to resist. Can't do anything but watch. Until he fainted himself. Consciousness returned in the middle of the night. Girl, I found myself lying on the first hospital bed. The back of his hand still holds a syringe. Transmit the essence into your own body. Those horrifying images appeared from her memories, causing her to fall into a state of loss. Control but tremble and scream. Stopped outside and immediately heard screaming. Ran into a nurse who saw unrest in the patient's mind. He immediately ran back. Hold tight and hold sure with both hands so she doesn't. Crazy with fear, he snatched away the syringe. The man standing there immediately ran over and patted him. Gently comforted the girl's back. It's okay in your ear. This is an illness. Andreas Institute. Look at that familiar face of the man. She unconsciously stopped struggling. He rubbed his red eyes and sniffled a few times. The sound of sobbing. Everyone who dares to say anything, they know all these. They all know what this little girl went through. Thoughtfully left, leaving Andrea alone. Private space after a few days of actual testing. Luckily her body is still healthy. What the other guy injected was just anesthetic. It's temporary so it doesn't leave any sequelae. The day Andrea Institute met that person again, she was extremely grateful and ran over to ask, "You are police. Oh, are you okay?" "Yes, I want to thank you for that day. Save me, if not I can't now. If you stand here, you will also have a great merit. Don't ask me to cooperate in changing the location. We couldn't catch many of them. They committed that crime, now they will go to jail." "Sir, yes, there will be punishment, but specific. I also don't understand the conversation." It was short but made Andrea Tram ponder. I think because that day she was not interested in looks. That guy's gentleness just ignored him. His warning that your boyfriend is a dangerous person. She breathed a sigh of relief. Relieved and consoled myself to always try more than leisurely go home, although solved. Resolved that scary relationship. But finally, Andrea returned to the starting line. Distributed by her company due to a friend. Ex-boyfriend set up to scam the opponents. The object he was aiming for was now when the pillar wall collapsed and the whole thing collapsed. All assets were taken for investigation and trial. That country girl had to sadly look for her. Get another job to survive later. When submitting 5 consecutive resumes. When I don't think I see that all 5 are the same. Was forced to stay in a motel room for a long time. Now makes Andrea feel even more herself. Like an unemployed person. She is depressed. Go out, come in, eat and sleep again. Andrea did. Intended to return home for a while but missed. To the bad things that happened to her. Don't dare. Actually, she still hasn't told his family about his incident. She doesn't want people in the countryside to worry. It's sad that this situation continues. Until the day the doctor scheduled her for a follow-up visit. In the hallway, looking at the line of people waiting to get it. Serial number. Andrea caught a figure. Familiar. Haven't seen each other for a long time. Maybe because her gaze is too obvious. Man. After realizing this, the man immediately turned back. Facing her, his face was expressionless. Unexpectedly, he came to Andrea after a while. "Huh, Dad, are you going to the right? Uncle Austin? I'm Andrea. Long time no see. Okay. Is your dad still healthy at home?" "Yes, everything is fine. I also came here for a medical examination." "Yes, You have regular checkups. Man, have fun chatting with the little girl. Besides asking about the family. That's all. He was very proud when he saw his daughter. My friend Noi Ko can take care of me. Just overcome difficulties and go to Lyon to study and work. However, when he asked about love, current picture along with the reason she came to be sick, the hospital was just told by the girl about what happened that she believed and told him. Don't tell your family because you're afraid of them back home. Worried and sorry for her fate. Girls secretly admire their courage. Like the strong Austin of her man. Opened an invitation for her to come to his company. His work also guaranteed that the environment there would be good. Useful for Ms. Andreon's life. Uncle Austin said, making her somewhat waver. But it was denied because of her ability. I'm not enough, however, under the theory. The uniform of someone who has negotiated win all. She doesn't have hundreds of deals in the market. There is no reason to agree to try the job. What Andrea didn't know was her future. Put your hope in the hands of bad guys. Vandalized a stranger leading two men. The countryman walked into his house. Is a place far away from all the apartments. Their country house outside. The walls are covered with pure white ceramic tiles. Both sides of the walkway are artificial turf. Through careful trimming, the gar edge also has one. The swimming pool is bigger than their bedroom. The hunchbacked old man couldn't help but gasp when he saw that. Rub. This house must be worth billions. I still have to ask. Do we black people have it? Can't do it all your life. There were two poor men walking. Admire the luxury of the house. Until a rich man brought them there. In front of a wooden table he sat down. And gestured for them to come over. Face to face from the moment of meeting until entering. He always had a smile on his face. Smile politely, full of sincerity and closeness. What do you two think about my proposal? I stopped asking. Upstairs, my family has an elderly mother with small children. Get caught in some scam and go to jail. The old man's gong made a hunchback sound and then straightened. The back spoke eloquently in response to Kian. He sat next to me and stood there silently. I admire your ability to lie without blinking an eye. What the heck is my old friend by though Gu? Little child. Once upon a time, he got married and was cheated by her. Horn for divorce but still single. Now sees mother also goes to worship heaven and earth. It's been a long time. But I think it's reasonable to go to jail. The guy wasn't scared, so he still agreed. Nodded and looked at the two people in front of him with the same words. Deny your good intentions. The last one of the poor. Also showed the trump card he placed. Tabled a stack of brand new money filled with 500 bills. Thousands of directions towards the brain light up gently. Advise this is the deposit first. I will prove that I didn't scam you too. This time, Hunchback though was still gawking at the pile. The polymer is complex and has not had time to react. Mr. Sang still sold ghee quickly. Quickly respond to inquiries and confirm. Tell us how the word has just reached our ears. Immediately, a bud bloomed. Laughing, he saw this prey coming. Hand but still kept a calm expression. Replied that he heard that he knew old Austin who worked real estate on Lyon as also you. Dear Austin loyalist, I'll show you. I know Austin is the only guy in my hometown. But, about 10 years ago, he was embezzled and got punished. Confiscated property and had to flee to the south. Avoid debt where to get real estate. Whatever he said, he waved his hand there. As if certain what I know is absolutely right. I didn't expect that person to hear it. After that, he laughed loudly and was full of joy. He glanced at the old man and then asked who told you that old Austin was corrupt. Product, huh? Why did he come to my house and tell me? He was still hungry and had no food to eat and had to stay temporarily. My house for a few days. I got scammed. Mr. Austin is now rich. The wall above the old man still held the hood. That's real estate. Don't listen to the oily guy. Laughed contemptuously at being inferior to the old man. Bewildered and dumbfounded. It was clear that he was ill that day. I woke up and saw that my friend who was a director was sick. In debt. He came to his house to ask for shelter. He still felt like he was living a leisurely life. It's still better to get any money or that money. But suddenly I realized that I had been deceived. I can't believe you lied. That guy. He tricked me into being a monster. What I don't know, or is it scared? My brother went to get rich and was happier. He is jealous, Tai said as the man watched. His face was sometimes white, sometimes red with anger. From the other side he gave a smile, proud and carefully concealing it. Perfectly. He leaned back in the chair to rest, even though the two people in front of him were whispering loudly. She doesn't need to think because in this chess game he already has it. I'll probably win after 2 weeks of work. The company of the kind uncle Andrea Cam. Feel very grateful that this is a lip. The school is extremely suitable for her. I was driving home after work. The phone suddenly rang from Andrea. Dan stopped in his shirt pocket to get his phone. Go see if the other end of the line is the phone number. She had previously given it to her older brother. I thought something happened at home, so she was in a hurry. Yellow Press heard a familiar voice catch. My head rang. Yes. Why is it about your father? I don't know why. Why do you suddenly want to go to Lyon now? I'm following Dad. I can hear the sound of breathing. It's too long. It's hard to say. In short, it's me now. With my father in the car going to Lyon. Check. I'll call tomorrow morning to tell you the news. Please hang up first. It's okay here. To them. Before La could ask anything more, the phone rang. The only thing left is the dull sound of screeching. Thinking for a moment, I don't understand why her father did it. Suddenly like that until he remembered her. I was startled and afraid that maybe my father knew. That's why I decided to come up here. But he's not normal either. People rarely care enough to be impulsive. It's crazy to do something like that. Thinking about it forever won't get her anywhere. Drive back first and wait to meet them. Ask again from beginning to end. Early in the morning, Andrea woke up, got ready and ran. Go to the train station and wait until received. The call from her younger brother just took her step away. Look around for the young man. From afar, he saw his sister and immediately turned towards her. That person is the big lake. I'm here, girl. Ran over to look at his younger brother and nodded in greeting. Then he turned back to his father and couldn't help but say yes. A little upset and worried. Dad, why? I want to come up here. I don't go to work but go to my place. What are you doing? Don't follow me anymore. Dad is busy. Where are you going? See, take him. Dad, have you faked your head yet? You still have manners. What cradle? Having said that, I didn't pay any attention to you too. The old man immediately flagged down a nearby taxi. Then get in the car. Drive away, Andrea and your brother. Still not reacting yet, looking at Dad in amazement. Gone. In the end, Andrea had to send the motorbike back. Catch other cars to chase the action. It's unclear what her father's purpose was in making her not. No one understands. Wait until the younger brother just. Sitting down, she impatiently asked him what was wrong. Dad suddenly felt strange. So who knows? After Dad goes to eat pho. What restaurant tomorrow, and the old though will come back 1 or 2 at a time. When I went to Lyon, my mother thought my father was now gone. So I came back. After arguing, my father didn't even listen. Go quickly pack some things and rush to the station. On the train, my mother was worried that something would happen to my father. So she told me. Following that, I talked to my younger brother and worked hard. Wear your seatbelt, Andrea. There's no reasoning. I can't add anything from what he said. So I told him. He remembered carefully to see if there was anything strange he didn't see. She is also confused by her actions. From my father, I scratched my head and thought of something. Well, there's a suspicious point. What do you mean? Dad usually gets that money for free. I sat down with the old men in the village to guide me. Salary from mother, yet yesterday the argument ended. I went straight until now when you reminded me. Pay attention to where you get your money from. No, I know about money. Andrea, listen to your brother. She couldn't accept it, but her father still had it. It's black and precious, but it's still too strange. Often there's not enough food. So where can we get it? Save the driver to sit in the car, which is empty. Understand what the two guests said because they delivered. Continued in the local language, so he pointed. Know how to follow the original instructions. The rear of the car above, but when seen. Have passed the intersection and the location ahead. He immediately hesitated and asked her. The girl is about to arrive at Director Austin's apartment of a famous real estate company in Ha. It's internal. Are the two of you related? Outsiders are not allowed to finish talking. The car immediately followed. Also stopped the man getting off. From then on, he was neither fast nor slow. Take a different direction, Andrea and her brother. Seeing that, he immediately paid for the car and followed. A light flashed in her heart. Complicated. This is a harbinger of things. Bad things cannot be avoided. It's been too long since I've been here. Sang was a bit blind and kept walking. Keep going as the ancestors told and stop. Stopped in front of a drink shop and saw people. Ben Tray women are truly people from the old days. I sat down on the plastic table nearby. Order a glass of iced tea and bring it to the other person. Almost too busy to pay attention to customers. People around him thought it must be her. I couldn't remember when I asked. Visit Mrs. Are you selling well these days? Who are you? So you forgot Ha about 10 years ago. I came here from the countryside and stopped by her shop. Oh God, look how old I am and remember. There are so many stories that are so old and old. When the old man heard that, it also made sense. Look at the gray hair. There are only a few left. The 3 strands of black hair of the water seller thought. At one point, he decided to ask frankly. At that time, I heard it as a guy going into the region. Men who do business do not know the truth. Since when did you become director here? Until now, have you heard about it going anywhere? Did he have to embezzle so he was discovered? Oh my, I still believe such nonsense rumors. Let's find out who's good and famous, Mr. Austin. I also know what to do as you say. After the woman finished speaking, he just remained silent, nodding as if he understood until he finished drinking. The glass of iced tea was still in a daze. Before the cloud had time to return, he took the electric horse again. The old phone quickly dialed a series of numbers and called for the other party because it's quite a distance away. Andrea and her brother couldn't know that their father was calling. To whom and what to say, the one thing clearly visible is his face. He frowned even more, showing disbelief, but still mixed with anger and fear of being discovered by his father. Then chased away, so the two ducked into a corner outside to observe Cheryl's situation. I don't know what happened to my father and Uncle Austin, but she knows they are friends. So it's likely that your father came here for a reason, somehow related to him, but after all, what can be done? Lazy people like you run early in the day. Hurry to Leon. The 3 of us. They stood here and hid there, waiting forever, finally waiting for the owner of the house. The other house returned to a specialized vehicle. When he arrived at the gate, he stopped. Inside, a man with facial expressions, seriously stepping outside of the person. This exudes a mature demeanor. Very elegantly, he smiled and said goodbye. The driver then walked into the house, but before I could get through the gate, I was hit by an arm. Held back unexpectedly for a few minutes, but when seeing his familiar face clearly, he was very familiar. Bright affability is Yuha is the opposite of the excited to see old friends. Sang and looked angrily at something else. Between the two, he found himself still alive. Not as much as the driver's jealousy. He lost his reason thinking that his friend. He took criticism seriously, so he lied. Immediately got grumpy and raised his voice. Why are you there? I lied to you and said you were embezzler and had to go to the south. Avoid debt, and yet you still come to tell me stories. So why are you now eating happily and dressing happily? Then there are those who pick people up. Huh, you despise me, don't you? It's not luxury. Well, that's not like you. I think the other person was confused and explained. This problem is also the situation that lies in his thoughts for more than 10 years past, but when it happened, I still didn't know it. How can I tell my friend to understand, mister? I only know how to advise every trick slowly ever used in business. It makes no sense to see the situation before Dan's eyes. Not okay. Andrea immediately ran out to hold Dad. I avoid him getting angry and doing something. What is wrong? But the old man saw it too. The child suddenly ran out without even bothering. Pay close attention, staring at that person. Without blinking an eye, he then pushed the child. The girl is holding her arm tightly to use it. Sadness and heavy disappointment look back. On the other side, I regret the past. Help that guy and then turned around after speaking. Left because he couldn't think of his friend. Eat the same potato with me every day. Blatantly lied to for many years. Like that. He was also sad. Andrea realized Dad's mood was not good. I couldn't calm down, so I pushed my younger brother and told him, follow Dad first, while she walked to the spot. The uncle was standing there looking on in surprise. Her back had disappeared and she bowed her head and asked, sorry, Austin, my dad is having some problems. I'll talk to Dad later. So hopefully. Don't think too much. Man sighed. His face looked slightly sad. Nodded as if to express his gratitude to the girl and advise her, take good care of your father and then bring him back. Security house. All Andrea say goodbye to that person and catch the bus. Chasing after her father. She heard her younger brother say he wanted it. When I got home, I immediately went to the train station to see the group. The familiar silhouette of people passing by. Dad is waiting for the train to arrive. In front of her, she worriedly went to her father. What are you doing here all day? It's about to get dark. So go home. When he saw his daughter coming, he didn't even bother. I looked up and sat there for a while. He waved her hand and chased her back to take a break. Haven't eaten yet, so Andrea Ben went to buy bread temporarily. And soy milk for Dad and me for two. Someone who has a stomach to prevent Austin from starving for fruit. After eating his fill, the old man immediately relaxed his feathers. When you look at your father, he feels a bit more comfortable. Andrea Moi cautiously asked his father to go to Lyon immediately. Because Uncle Austin, I think it's a waste of money. How many years have you been together and yet it comes back? Lie, Dad, do you misunderstand me? I came here to verify it. Who would have thought? It's true, but Dad, Uncle Austin is also good. At times, he even helped me get into the company he worked for. What's more, the job is very good. I can't say enough. After finishing, Mr. Sang rolled his eyes at his daughter. Immediately, the old man stood up angrily, pointed directly at Andrea's face and scolded her. Eat the apple tree and the fig tree like that. Join the army for it. Oh, my child, you don't have anything. You work for Austin. Don't come home from now on. Again, just in time for the next train to arrive. When he got started, he shouted loudly in anger. Without even thinking about it, he mumbled and walked straight. Andrea immediately boarded the train. She knew her father was angry. It's not convenient to say anything more. Just advice. The younger brother paid attention to his father and reminded him, if anything is wrong, you must call immediately. For her, from that day on, she saw Uncle Austin again. Once he told me about the cause of the incident. Day job and hope she can move. Apologies to my dad because I think now, even if she returned home, her father would not meet her. The face shows the sincerity of men. Should Andrea just yes. Yes, I promise I will tell my dad again. But she thinks this matter is capital. It's not wrong to get sick just because you're jealous of someone. Is it true that others live better than you? Together with Andrea decided to let it go. Put this nonsense aside and concentrate on it. At work, everything went smoothly. One day she received a call from me. The boy in the hometown told her a few things. Weird thing that happened recently. First is, somehow her father earn a lot of money every few days. One day he went somewhere and when he returned, bring a wad of cash if you ask. Dad said this is money taken from C's resources. He and absolutely refused to say it from. No wonder my dad was so proud to buy one flat screen television and boast with. The next neighbor then returned to the propaganda group. Get rich transmission about a few months ago. Everyone is convinced that this is the type of sword. Eat from scammers, but recently, almost like everyone without a job is gathering. Learning to join this organization is still worthwhile. Only insiders know the specifics, especially known to the leader of the department. Inviting everyone is an old man inviting you. Dad's drinking is the most serious thing. Dad's health is not good these days. Mom thinks it's because my dad worked hard to make money. It's like that because every time I go out and come back. Dad was sick again for a few days but gradually recovered. As mentally dad has few problems he usually has. Sat and mumbled something to himself and then laughed loudly. Sometimes I get angry and scold my mother. As a matter of fact, one day my father suddenly caught me. What the hell do you need to talk to the youngest son? My hometown city still earns a lot. Money sounds like stories. Discreet, but if you take the time to reflect, I find these things strangely consistent. A bold thought arose in her mind. Andrea Lean immediately told his younger brother to watch his father carefully and then talk to her again if possible. Follow dad and see where he goes. Earn that money but be very quiet. And be careful because your brother may be in danger. A week later, my brother actually sent it. Give her a photo, even if it's of good quality. Far away, very low, but the people in there are not. How could she not know he was the owner? Chairman of a famous corporation. Famous philanthropist for having donating hundreds of millions to organizations. People with disabilities across the country. Ms. Looking intently at the suspicious face. Then an incoming call jumps to the top. The screen startled her. Andrea immediately remembered. Phone immediately. What's wrong? I'll tell you. Another thing, when I followed my father there, I can't go inside, but when dad go out and grab a bag of money, dad's left hand still had a piece of gauze stuck on it. To absorb my blood. Yes, it's not just you guys. Others in the village also have a similar situation. I'll temporarily stay away from this and wait. I'll figure it out later when I get home. Remember, don't be rash. Yes, right after hearing what my brother said, Andrea begins to feel something unusual. She thought for a moment and then decided to call to a familiar phone number. Hello, police officer. I have a few problems. I want to ask if you have free time. It was almost 10 p.m. when the call ended. Cheryl, trail teasing, couldn't sleep and she remembered again. The time I almost died because that guy targeted me. A stream of thoughts raced through her head. But she herself didn't understand what it was. On the day of the appointment with the policeman Andrea had, arriving earlier than expected, she silently took notes. Necessary information in one book. The man who entered saw the window. The girl is intently thinking about something. I immediately went to order a cup of coffee and left. Pull up a chair and sit down and greet them. How are you these days? Yes, you're fine. So, do you need any help? Cheryl, don't hesitate to tell what you know. For the other person, she also presented her thoughts. Think personally about this incident for that person. Understand clearly once you have grasped part of the sentence. The police officer just closed his eyes and thought about it. A little indeed. Recently there was one type of document submitted from superiors to Bao. He investigated. However, there are no clues or suspicions. There is no related crime, so he is still quitting. Worse yet, the person who did this has a certain level of influence. So, if they interfere, then there is mutual conflict. It's a big deal to be sure. He then asked the girl. Children say that organization has problems. No, Do you have any evidence to prove it? Soon I will return to my hometown because I will take care of you. Dad's current condition if Uncle Dong. If you want to investigate this case, I will look into it. Evidence Andrea don't dare to take risks. Not sure what she needs from someone available. Ready to assist you when choosing. Choosing to reveal it to this police officer is also. Thinking about it for a moment. She didn't know what was going on. This could go nowhere but in front of the eyes. The appearance of that organization is truly a clue. Dangerous for both her family and those. People in the countryside find it difficult to trust. She finally had to pull that person's eyes. The phone opens and opens a past photo. Sharpen it and then place it on the direction table. On the opposite side, he just finished watching. The photo changed the policeman. Your face is so serious that you don't have it. Okay, if you cooperate, I will talk to you. Facing the bait released by the girl. Men are a little hesitant, aren't they? I don't want to investigate just this matter. You still have to get approval from superiors. He had no choice but to promise to inform. Join or not after a few days of consideration. Andrea also freely agreed as expected. By the time the announcement came, she was shopping. The last furniture repair they made a report. The investigation into this incident Andrea immediately followed. As said at the meeting, she will return hometown. So she quit her job and moved up. The ship arrived at night when the sky was still clear. It was dark and she left me a message. The boy then stopped temporarily at an inn nearby to rest when you wake up. It's almost morning, Andrea. Don't rush to find out and go. The set of observations takes a complete turn around. There is no change compared to the previous day. Large looking at every house. It looks normal. Normal, but it is that normality. Further accentuates the silence of the gourd. Air, if you remember correctly. At this time, the men in the village will gather. Form small groups to go to work at the construction site. It's far from where they live, so I have to get up very early. Just arrived in time for construction of the island again. For a while, there was nothing more to discover. Then Andrea returned to the motel and called one. Breakfast and then leisurely call me. The boy reminded him not to tell his parents. She came back until she finished eating and drinking in the sun. Also climbed high. Andrea borrowed my motorbike temporarily. Motel and then went to a cafe. She pushed the cart and observed the area. These are the most talkative women. People in the village often gather to sell melons. She smiled and took the bag of candy first. Get ready and come in to say hello. Hey, Andrea-kun, are you here? Why are you back? I just got my salary, so I'm home. Visit that house and there are still some fruits here. She took it and ate it for fun. Surely the people of our village are like family members. Even mouth said that, but they did. Quickly took the bag of cookies from her hand. But enjoy it and continually praise her for it. I realized it was time for Andrea Ben to breathe. Take a long breath and then. I don't know what you guys are like. Come on, your father has been participating in that lately. After that, I was sick all the time. Wow, I thought you didn't know, but that little girl's mouth is not in the contract. People were secretly arrested. There's also a contract, because your father said it. No need to pay attention, but still think about it. Just afraid of dad, even if he is deceived. He is not subtle. I'm so worried. That's right, but they recorded it completely and even included compensation. Then join. After listening, other people also agreed. They all find their relationship very trustworthy. There is both compensation and money. I don't want a woman who sees that immediately. Pulling out a piece of paper from her pocket, she brushed it on the table and asked the sisters if the content was available. Are they the same? Luckily, there are many people. At least one person can sue the right house and the right group. They were excited but didn't want to come and look. It means that the other girl took the opportunity to take a photo. Get information from the wire sheet anytime. Or Ms. calmly sit down and wait for them. After watching it, I pretended to be bored and asked casually, I wonder if you've registered too. Haven't you gone yet? I don't know how tiring it is. I heard they don't hire women. Yes. I also heard what my husband said. They drew blood for testing and then injected again. What does it put into that person? But that's the same thing. If you're sick for a few days, it'll go away, but it won't leave you. What illness happened after that for some women? Gather together and say the words to engrave Andrea C. There's no more information to add. Pretending to have something to do and then retreating first. On the second day, when she returned, she didn't notify your parents, only through your younger brother. Asked about her father's situation. More irritable and mentally unstable. Didn't make her feel extremely scared. Andrea continued to drive and search. This time she was targeting one person. It's very likely that he holds many secrets. Go straight to the house and ask if Uncle Do is home. No. There he bent down and walked out for the sake of his eyes. Poor. So I had to squint and step back. I could barely see the girl's face clearly. Andrea, I'm here. Uncle. Andrea, so what are you doing here so early in the morning? So the girl looked down and looked sad. But suffering. My father joined that program and immediately got sick. I don't know what to do these days. I have to go to Uncle to see if there is any way. Can't help. My dad, please. This is what Tho heard. Old Tran Chu scratched his head in confusion. Think of the brotherhood so long ago. When he went over there, he felt guilty, which is awkward partly due to the child's feelings. I don't love my dad like that either. I can't help but have to look forward to it. Who would be around to dare to bring the girl in? House, clearly stating that he left that place a long time ago. I told your father that day, but he didn't want to hear. But in the end, what did they inject? Hey, my dad hasn't been feeling well these past few days. I don't know, but that's not good. Where it seems like fear of being discovered, even in the house, he kept the volume down as low as possible. The old man continued to live. I know the place, so I told you so you can go home. Advise your father again. That day I saw them injecting drugs into someone. The woman immediately contracted it, twitching and bubbling. Is the edge dead? It's terrible. Do you think I have the guts to continue watching? Yes, you have to keep quiet about this. No, they threatened me if I sneaked around. They said as he raised his hand and waved across her neck. She made a sign. Andrea understood. Raise your hand, as if to symbolize a zipper. Mouth replied. At this time she was also sure to be able to partly reflect my thoughts. I should be quiet. Goodbye to the man who returned that night. Andrea quickly summarizes the information. Includes images and audio recording and sending. For the police, it was estimated that it was nearly 2 hours later. They immediately responded. The evidence she presented was enough to convict him of trafficking, sell illegal drugs to those people, and remind her to protect herself while she's there. The special agents team went there to deal with Andrea C. This story has come to an end. I sighed in relief and went to bed to sleep. But life is like a continuous game. Revolved around her. Early in the morning, while she was chewing bread, she received a phone call from his younger brother. Said that her father suddenly called Uncle Austin to come home from Lyon because there's no need to think about what you want to discuss. I know this is extremely unusual because of the following. The time she thought she was being tricked, her father did. I don't trust Uncle Austin anymore. In addition, he is not in good spirits these days. Andrea was scared and quickly drove home. When she arrived, she only saw her mother and Oot standing there, unconscious in the yard next to him. The third is holding on to Dad because he just laughing and crying. He hit his head against a tree trunk. What's scarier is their house burning with a terrifying red flame. Anger is pouring out in its entirety. Every corner Andrea quickly searched but found no sign of Uncle Austin. Where did she finally understand the purpose? Dad called Uncle Austin back to him. Wanted to set fire to kill. Who didn't even pay attention to Roof. Her own warmth is what she fears most. Really happened. Andrea didn't have time to think. Then he grabbed a tattered cloth and covered his nose. Then rushed straight inside. As soon as I entered, I saw a familiar man. She lay unconscious right on the coffee table. Ran back to help him escape. At that moment, a rotten piece of wood was burning. Fell from the ceiling and hit right away. Her arm caused her pain and dizziness. Andrea tried hard and finally saved the successful person she dreamed of seeing. The surrounding neighbors are holding buckets of water. Ran to her younger brother who was also walking towards her. He sniffled and said something, but she did. Exhausted, he fell asleep because of inhalation. There was a large amount of toxic gas. So when he woke up, it was already toxic. 3 days after the other incident happened, Andreas lay on the hospital bed, watching his younger brother peeling. Her throat has not been damaged yet. I couldn't speak, so I took out my phone. Where are your parents written on there? Just rest. Mom and youngest son are fine and dad is fine. Take me to functional therapy with some people. NTH. So why did Uncle Austin just wake up? Yesterday I was resting in the next room. Andrea nodded to show she understood what had happened. Otherwise, she didn't ask any more questions at the end. With his free brother again automatically telling her everything, turned out to be a famous man. It is rumored that the philanthropist is sick. Brain cancer, is inherently eager to live and afraid of death. Established an organization to research illegal drugs under the K-hook transmission to avoid the eyes of law for its contribution to experimentation medicine that he used his trust, people and money so they can voluntarily combine. Moreover, this medicine can only be used giving male hormones to women when injected. There will be a huge possibility of rejection. Why did he choose a poor village? This is simply because he is poor and old. There is money, but in reality, after investigation, when I asked, I found out that he had a grudge against me. That's why Austin targeted his hometown to pay. If you hit 2 birds with 1 stone, you will be lucky. Fortunately, the plan did not come to fruition. If he hasn't recovered yet, he will have to eat in prison first. After being discharged from the hospital, Andrea and the uncle kindly meet each other for a while because she wanted to apologize for what your father did. They just smiled and shook their heads. That the origin is from oneself. Not only harming her father but also the whole person. People in uncle's hometown said they would return often. This creates a lot of job opportunities for you people so they don't have to suffer. Also, thank you for not hesitating. Afraid to save people in times of danger. About a few minutes later, someone called. The phone rang. Andrea smiled and responded, said goodbye to him and left. People after rehabilitation, then gradually return to normal life. As often as before, the house burns down as well. Deducted from the old man's assets. Rich enough to repair. Only her father is the one. So it's different from someone who eats all day long. Sit and hang out in shops like him. But willing to go to the construction site to work. That's it. She also told her mother to stay home and take care of cleaning and cooking. The water is not good. If it leaks, it runs to sell. Junk life instantly change. Dizzy to the point of her mother and the boys. The kids sometimes wondered if dad had cured yet. Over time, the whole family ignored it and let it go. Dad's attitude, but some days it's not. I know my younger sister is married far away. I'm not in a hurry. When I ran back, I was still crying. Complained until mother coaxed him to accept it. The 2 little devils saw that and dragged him away. He laughed at the old man and then cried. Mother's atmosphere is also because of mischief of the children and become warmer. Seeing that his father was not in Andrea Ben's house, he left. I looked around and found him struggling. Rebuild the bathroom to have a place to hide. Sure enough, she ran over to help spread the word. The brick was brought to Dad so he could see the marks. Burn scars left on her daughter's arm. The old man was so dumbfounded for a while. The old man moved his eyes again and busily worked. Don't say anything until it's done. It was already dusk when the two of them arrived. Was washing hands to prepare to eat when the four girls cleared their throats and whispered to old Andrea. The old father looked at his daughter and wanted to say something. I stopped waiting until my wife said goodbye. The sound came from inside the house urging him to come in and eat. The old man bowed his head and turned towards his daughter. A small but gentle voice said, "Dad." Sorry. Andrea suddenly stood silently. Surprisingly, she actually never blamed her father. But I didn't think he was the reason for it. That was so tormenting that she secretly smiled and turned away, intending to go straight into the house before leaving. I left a sentence to forgive you, Dad. Then that day, for the first time in my life, the father seemed not to be afraid of anything. Nothing but no money. Cried again. He kept sobbing even after his mother. And the whole family comforted for a long time indeed after that. The rain is bright again. Happiness can be coming late, array, but at least when we together we will overcome it and become the lesson. The most expensive learning in life. Do you know? A narrator's greatest happiness. What is the matter? Is it your support? By leaving a like on this video. Completely free but motivating. Great for the team to continue creating good content. Even a small like, but it means a lot. Thank you for always accompany and listen.